I had been struggling to pay bills since he had lost his job, but it turns out he's been squandering our savings on expensive dates with not one, but two women.
No.
This is very much, oh, my son, my boy, my moment with my son.
It's as if OP is the third party.
Do you think cheaters deserve a second chance? Hey guys, I'm Beat, your storyteller for today.
And I'm Sandra, listening in today.
Now, we got a bunch of exciting stories for you. And do I hear the wedding bells? We got some wedding stories.
Yay! I love
But
wedding stories.
I don't want to rain your parade though, because I have dubbed these stories brave people doing obnoxious things.
Oh, is there a bridezilla?
Potentially.
Hmm.
Potentially. First story is from the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? Am I the a-hole for telling my future mother in law that she will be escorted out of my wedding if she tries to have a mother son dance?
Hmm. Like a forced mother-son dance?
Hmm.
Interesting.
My fiance and I are due to get married in September 2026. Oh, congrats, Opie.
Yay.
From the moment we got engaged, his mother has insisted that she will be having a choreographed dance with him at our wedding. His mom, I assume they're from the UK, is a self proclaimed main character and has even joked that she should be allowed to wear white as she's the mother of the groom.
I
I
don't
saw an
think that's how
inhale.
it works.
See, when I say yes, be the main character of your own story, I don't mean on someone's wedding.
Yeah.
I don't know if that joke's a joke though.
I
I should wear white because I birthed the groom. Hmm.
hmm.
Hmm. His mom is very kind money wise to her children and has paid large sums of his siblings' weddings and would not make a difference here with ours. However, I don't want this to be an issue that the day is then planned significantly around her ideas of the perfect wedding and not ours, as there have been previous comments about how she doesn't like the color scheme and how she thinks my engagement ring is tacky. I have a 1.5 carat emerald cut Montana sapphire with a diamond pave setting.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I'm just envisioning this very glamorous ring.
Yeah.
But wow, I feel kind of anger from OP. OP went, this is my ring, guys. It is not tacky. OP says, so I have therefore said thank you for her kindness, but that we will be funding the main chunk of the wedding ourselves as we have saved for it. In relation to the dance, my dad died when I was 5 years old, and my granddad, who raised me, passed away a few years back. My mom and I have discussed a dance for both of us and not him and his mother, and both agreed that it would just seem a bit awkward and we wouldn't really enjoy it, so we were going to skip the father daughter. She would be dancing with me in this case. Dance. I have stated my concerns about a mother son dance as it would highlight more the fact that there is no traditional father daughter dance and that I just don't feel comfortable with it. His mother has blown up saying I will be ruining the day for the whole family by not allowing it and has stated that she will be pulling everyone off the dance floor for this dance regardless.
I feel like she went from 0 to 100 there. It's a
Yeah.
little bit of extreme reaction.
Oh, yeah. Opie says, I have therefore now told her if that is the case, she will be escorted from the venue before the dance begins. Oh, what are your first thoughts so far?
Is that the story?
That's the story. So far, there is an edit, but I want to hear your initial impressions first.
I think
Hey guys, just as we've been enjoying reading these stories with you guys, we hope you've been enjoying having these discussions with us. If you have, don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button if you're listening to us on YouTube.
it's very dramatic to say, "Oh, well, the whole wedding's gonna be ruined if we do not take this dance, if we don't have this mother-son dance."
Everyone's gonna be so upset. Who is gonna be upset besides mother-in-law?
Because the guests are there for the bride and groom, I don't think they will be devastated. She makes it sound like they're going to be like, it'll be a travesty to not have this dance.
Okay, maybe I'm ignorant of this a little bit on the context of the custom, right?
Mhm.
I never understood the point of the mother, son, father, daughter dance. I don't really get it. I see that it's a thing in the US particularly, but maybe with weddings being evolved, becoming crazier and crazier every year, is it normal to have such effort put into the mother-son dance, though? She wants a whole
I feel
choreographed
like
dance number.
usually they're kinda just you sway back
Like,
and
you sway, you
forth.
just dance? Okay.
Yeah, for, like, a minute or 2. I I never heard of anyone putting that much weight on the mother-son dance. Personally, for my wedding, we didn't do any parent, like, dances. We just did our dances because our parents are not the type to dance, and I'm in the same boat as OP, so I don't have a father figure. So I would have danced with my mom or my brother,
Mhm.
but they're not the type to sway back and forth.
I'm imagining you and your mom swaying. It just
My mom would probably be like, "What are you?" She barely wanted to do the entrance. She kind of like took her seat early. She's like, "I don't
"Let me
want, I
sit down
just,"
now."
yeah, she just wanted to enjoy the wedding. She didn't
Mhm.
really care for the dance. Imagine if I made her do a choreographed dance.
I'm imagining my own parents, it would just be awkward.
Yeah. I think to each their own.
Yeah,
I
to
think
each their own.
if the couple wanted it, they would have coordinated it, and since they don't want it, I think just leave it alone.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the couple's feelings about this. So OP does have an edit on what the groom thinks.
Okay.
Edit from OP. Sorry, first time using this, so didn't think to give details on fiance. Yes, I'm definitely the a-hole for leaving his opinion out of this post. He doesn't want a first dance, never mind a choreographed dance. He laughed the first time it was
Uh,
mentioned about the mother son dance.
so he doesn't wanna dance at all.
Nope. And he said, not a chance, but she was insisting on it. He has agreed on a very short 1 minute first dance where the bridal party will join in after a slight sway to her favorite song, as dancing in general makes him uncomfortable. Ah, the sway you
So
mentioned.
how is she going to get him to do a whole choreographed dance?
Ugh. I had always stated before the engagement that I didn't like the dances, and he stated that he'd only agreed to a very short first dance after a number of drinks because he hates them. We've always been on the same page for that. I will also add that my fiance wanted a destination wedding with a small number of guests, which I was quite happy to do as it would be very personal to us. This was completely taken off the table as his mom had a list of 60 guests of her own that absolutely had to attend as they were extended family. Am I the a hole?
No.
No,
It seems like the mom is taking their wedding and making it her own, when
it's
it
her
should,
show.
yeah, it should be the opposite. It should be making it their own.
I feel like this is very much, oh, my son, my boy, my moment with my son.
It's as if OP is the third party.
She's kind of squeezing her in as the third wheel here.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Why would you want to have this dance if your son is so uncomfortable with it?
Yeah.
Why are you pushing your feelings and
He's
projecting
not
it?
going to do it. He's just not going to do it. And you
I
shouldn't force him to.
If he hates enough to be, he needs a few drinks before he needs to go into the choreographed dance number. He's miserable. Why would you force your own son to do this?
I think the only person in this scenario who has any power or right to pressure him into doing a dance should be the bride.
Yeah, if anyone, it's her.
Yeah.
But
Within reason, of course.
I think the mom is totally overstepping here. And the fact that she even joked about, oh, I should be able to wear white. I'm not going to be surprised
Oh,
if she
no,
does
I
wear white.
forgot about that.
I wouldn't be surprised if she just shows up and says,
What is with
hey,
people insisting that they specifically wear white at someone else's wedding? Like,
white is not even that common enough. It's not like black where it's a common enough color that everyone has in their wardrobe readily at hand. Usually you are going out of your
you're
way to
shopping
purchase
for it.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know why it sounds like in some of these stories, some people are very adamant about competing with the bride by wearing white because they know they're not supposed to wear white, but they're purposely choosing to do it. What is there some competitive switch that goes on in their head when it's someone else's wedding?
I'm telling you, that's why I'm dubbing this story as you can call it brave person being very obnoxious or
Yeah.
very obnoxious person being brave on the wrong reasons in the
Very
wrong context.
obnoxious.
The groom has a responsibility to kind of shut this down, to say, hey, you need to stop pestering my fiance about this, mom. Like I said, no, you need to take the no.
Yeah.
So here's one of the comments asking for more context
Mhm.
on OP's fiance. Info. Where is your fiance in this? Does he want to have the dance? Does he want to skip it? Won't stand up to her? or is he 100% with you in setting boundaries?
He doesn't want to do the dance. I already know.
Yeah, from the edit, and I think that's why OP added the edit. Basically, reiterating we've always been on the same page. Oh, that's one remark that I didn't realize or didn't pick up on the first time I read it. Fiance actually wanted destination wedding at first, but then it got
Mm.
flipped into this whole big
Oh,
wedding.
it sucks that I think it's his mom that wanted the what? The at-home wedding or this big
Um,
wedding
yeah, she didn't say where, but she wanted a wedding that would accommodate at least 60 people of her own.
of her own.
Yes.
So it's a huge wedding that he didn't want.
Yep.
I kind of wish the couple were able to talk to her and kind of hold their own ground on what they wanted instead of letting her
Yeah.
have what she wanted. I think that sets a precedent that she might have her way about other things in the wedding, like this
Yeah.
mother son dance. Somebody needs to put their foot down and say, we are not doing it. It's our wedding.
I don't think the gentle no's that it seems like they've been doing is enough. I agree with you. Put the foot down, say, "That's it, mom. It's our wedding. Shut up. You're
Hmm.
you're going to be in it for now, but if you keep on pushing it, we
Might
will
have
change the
to.
wedding." Yeah, you might need to be escorted out. Another comment, I cannot fathom the amount of hubris involved in telling someone else that they're not allowed to plan their own wedding the way they want it. Mother-in-law thinking she gets an actual guest list at your wedding is peak.
You know, unfortunately, that's a common thing that parents do.
I don't get it though. My parents are very much under the impression of, and I think it's, yeah, it's cultural Vietnamese
Mhm.
tradition. But at the same time, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around it because there are people that they want to invite to my future wedding that they're so adamant about saying, "Oh, well, this person attended your first birthday party when I was an infant and we no longer have any connections."
What?
And they would point to a photo. Legit, they have albums, and they'd say, "See, you remember this person?" I'm like, "No, who is that? I was one. What would I remember here?" "Oh, well, they invited us to their kid's wedding." I'm like, "Okay, I didn't go to their kid's wedding. Why would I want them to go to mine?"
That's so funny because when we were planning our wedding, so my mother does not care.
Mhm.
As long as I guess the majority of the family was invited and
Yeah.
everything, which they were. My husband's mom had the list. You know, like
Oh.
Santa's list, uh,
It opens out and it's long.
checking it twice.
Yeah.
She had the list, and we're like, "Who's this?" "Oh, this is the uncle that you saw in the other
No
state
way.
when you were younger."
No way.
Yeah, we didn't even know his name, only had a nickname for him, right?
That honestly, that's impressive then that your mom-in-law
Yet
could,
he
like,
made it to the
add him
list.
to the list. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had to tell her to cut that list down. So, because and with the guys, "Oh, our venue has a capacity." So,
Oh, that's a
if
good reason though.
yeah, if the couple were able to choose their destination wedding, they could have said, "Oh, our destination wedding has this capacity. Let's keep it to this number of people."
That would have been a good way
Yeah.
of going about it.
So that's why I think it sucks that she got her way in preventing them to have a
Yeah.
destination wedding.
I think they're too soft on her.
They really are.
Although I wonder if it also has the complications of her paying for part of the wedding.
Does she pay for part of the
So
wedding?
she paid part of it. She originally, I think, wanted to pay more, but Ope and fiance said, "No, we saved for it. We'll pay the main chunk." So it sounds like she's still helping on
Oh,
some.
yeah.
And I think that can be dicey as well because not to say that parents will try to manipulate, persuade you because they're
Through
funding it,
money, yeah.
but you feel weird saying no if they're so insistent on something and they're like, "Well, I paid for it." There's a almost subconscious, "Oh, well, they paid for it, so they should get some decision making."
Yeah. I can see that. I think that if the wedding was abroad like they
Mhm.
wanted, maybe she wouldn't have been as involved financially and they would have
Yeah.
had more, I guess, like control over what they wanted.
Mhm.
But morally and ethically, I
Yeah.
think if you're gifting someone
It's a gift.
money or funds for their wedding, I don't think you should take that as the right to do whatever you want with the plan.
I think specifically with weddings The only condition you're allowed to attach is, well, 2 things. 1, that you're invited because you gave them a gift for the
Yeah,
wedding,
yeah.
barring that you're not a super a-hole that ruined their life, and 2, that they use it for the purpose of the wedding and they're not
Mhm.
pocketing the money. I think those are the only 2 conditions in normal circumstances that is okay to put on a wedding gift.
Yeah. Demanding a choreography and 60 guests of your own choosing is a little much. I could understand, like, a handful of friends, like her closest friends, maybe 1 table. Like, "Mom, you get 1 table,
Mhm.
and you can invite who you want," but 60 people, that's a lot.
I'm kinda weirded out on why, of all things to harp over, it's the dance.
It doesn't sound like he wants to
Why?
do it. He's not going to do it.
I'm all for people putting on a show and doing different things and pulling different activities and performances for their wedding,
Mhm.
but when the bride and groom themselves don't want it, and you just
Just leave it alone.
is this not just her wanting to just put on a performance to show off her and her relationship with her son,
In a white dress? Is she treating it as if
potentially in a
it's
white
her
dress?
wedding?
I don't know. I
Maybe she
don't
wants the second experience at being a bride.
ooh. See, I wouldn't even joke about that though.
Yeah.
That's not a I would never joke to a bride saying, "Ah, ha, ha, what if I wear white to your wedding?"
That's rude. Yeah.
So what's your verdict? Who's the a-hole, if any?
Oh, the mother-in-law? Mother-in-law, right? Mother-in-law is the a-hole.
I would say the same thing. I don't think OP's the a-hole. I'm looking to see if anyone called out mother-in-law specifically. They mostly call out that mother-in-law is very obnoxious, very odd. You don't owe anyone a big wedding. A lot of comments are saying that. All right. Next word is from the subreddit AITAH. Am I the a-hole for exposing my husband online?
What are they exposing?
Well, when it comes to exposing things online, it can only be dark secrets.
Oh. Oh.
And usually things you don't want to publicize. So let's see what OP is publicized. I, 28-year-old female, recently discovered that my husband, 32-year-old male, had been not only unfaithful, but also financially irresponsible. Oh, that's a twofer.
Mm.
Not one, but two. I had been struggling to pay bills since he had lost his job, but it turns out he's been squandering our savings on expensive dates with not one, but 2 women. When I confronted him about his
Wait,
infidelity,
2 women?
not one, but 2.
Oh my
He
gosh.
was he was around. Let's call it that. When I confronted him about his infidelity and financial negligence, he showed no remorse and instead accused me of being too demanding.
For asking to be financially responsible?
And keeping it in your pants, not sleeping around multiple women?
Oh my
Excuse
gosh.
me? I felt betrayed and enraged, so I decided to expose him on social media. Ah, we love a good old fashioned social justice here.
Mhm.
The financial strain in our relationship began when my husband lost his job. I'd been trying my best to keep our finances afloat, juggling bills and expenses alone. It was a stressful time, and I thought we could make it through together. I was so wrong. During a shift at work, an anonymous source reached out to me. They shared screenshots of conversations between my husband and one of the other women he'd been involved with. These chats revealed details of their plans, their relationships, etc. I wonder who the anonymous source was. Maybe a friend of one of the women, or even one of the women themselves.
What if the women have partners of their own and reached out? Or the partners
Oh,
reached out? I can
maybe that could
imagine that.
be. Yeah. At that moment, I felt a wave of anger washed over me. I couldn't believe how carelessly he'd been treating our relationship, our finances, and me. My husband, whose dad was a pastor, liked to preach about loyalty. But when it came down to it, he was running around with not one, but 2 women behind my back. Talk about hypocrisy, huh?
That's awful.
Feeling pissed and betrayed, I decided to put my husband on blast on social media. I uploaded all the evidence of his cheating and tagged him and his father, letting everyone know what a two-timing jerk he was. The fallout was massive, and he found himself in the spotlight exposed for the hypocrite he was. Despite the mountain of evidence I shared, my husband's dad was still defending him like a loyal knight. He called me a liar, dismissed the screenshots, and claimed his precious son wouldn't do something like this. Talk about
Even with
denial,
the proof?
right? How can you show any more than that? You have the texts, you have the screenshots.
Like,
The only thing you don't have is a video of them actively meeting up at this point. Talk about denial, am I right? Meanwhile, I was already deep in the process of filing for divorce. His dad's blind loyalty was just adding an extra layer of annoyance. Recently, one of my girlfriends told me I was overreacting, and it's normal for my husband to have more partners.
Is she one of the partners?
So I've been wondering lately, did I overreact?
No. Wait, Opie's friend said it's normal?
She said, "You're overreacting. It's normal for husbands to have more partners."
No.
I had
That
the
is
biggest red
terrible
flag.
advice. She's one of the partners. Or that friend herself has another partner besides her husband. I'm calling it.
Are you calling it?
Yeah, I'm calling it.
Okay. Well, there is an edit and another update from OP.
Oh my goodness.
So hold your thought because we have a juicy reveal.
Mm.
So edit forgot to add, but my husband, before marrying me, had posted and exposed his cheating partner. So I guess I'm returning the favor.
Oh, then who is he to say that she's overreacting?
So the cheated became the cheater.
There we go.
Scum. Scum. To know the pain of being cheated on and then to do it to someone else, especially your wife.
Yeah.
Horrible. I'll read a few comments for the initial post before we jump to update. First comment, one of your girlfriends thinks it's okay for your husband to have
That's what I'm
girlfriends?
saying. She's involved. She's involved. I'm calling it.
I thought the same. Comment says, that's not a person you should remain friends with. Wondering if this friend had some relations with OP's husband.
Mm-hmm.
Another comment. Oh, OP actually responded to that one.
Oh.
OP says, wait, do people actually think my friend is one of the women he was with? Crying emoji.
Yes.
Now that I think about it, possibly. I didn't add this because I didn't think it was significant, but my friend, who I mentioned here as one of my girlfriends who told me that I was overreacting, we'll just call her Emma, female, age 25. Emma used to work with the same company my husband worked at. They did once go on a business trip together.
Don't tell me they were work wife, work husband.
My husband told me they didn't share rooms back then when I asked. But now that I realized it, the company only provided one room.
Is there no one in the company that reviews the accommodations and makes sure that they're appropriately allocated?
So that's interesting. I guess how it works, I don't know if it's for all companies. For my company, usually people book their own accommodations, but there's no one reviewing to see if you shared the accommodation with another coworker.
Mm. Mm.
Like managers usually just check to see, okay, you didn't, book the most expensive suite available, and then they approve the expense. But there's no one that really checks on who's rooming with who or who's staying with who. This is fishy indeed.
Mm.
Another comment to her friend, in quotes, OP needs to get checked for STDs and bounce.
Yes.
Okay, OP.
Bounce
Post
on
an
the
update.
husband and the friend.
Oh, that's not a friend. That's a
The friend.
secret enemy. Update. Thank you for all your support and input. After much reflection and considering the advice you've given, I've made the difficult decision to file for divorce. Yes. Yes, OP.
Yes.
Never has there been a clear drop of D
The
word.
D.
Drop the D.
Wait.
Divorce.
Divorce
Let us
papers.
clarify.
Yeah.
While it breaks my heart to end my marriage, I can't ignore the pain and trust that has been betrayed. It's time to prioritize my own well-being and move forward. I've also got a lot of people telling me apparently that my friend was probably sleeping with my husband.
There we go.
I looked into the matter and I don't want to give exact details, but you were right.
There we go. I called it.
You did call it. You called it
What?
from right in the beginning.
Because what friend would give that advice? Oh, it's normal for husbands to have more
girl,
than
you're overreacting.
like
What?
who says that?
I understand some of the skepticism and accusations of rage bait, and I get it. My account is new, and the situation can seem sensational, but I assure you this is very real. I created this account specifically for this purpose. It's a personal matter that I need to handle while keeping my privacy intact. This isn't about stirring up drama. It's about navigating a painful and difficult situation. Please approach with open minding and understanding. Lastly, I want to express my gratitude for everyone who's taken time to offer advice and support. Oh man, thank you all for listening and offering guidance.
That is so sad because as easily as we say, "Oh, go for divorce,"
Yeah,
to actually go through it is really hard. You have 2 options. You can live your life as you know it,
or
and
even change.
or you make the change, and change is never easy because then you kinda have to tell your friends and family, "We're divorced," and then you have to tell them why, and it can be embarrassing to go through it.
And you're also navigating breakup from your partner. Even if they've been unfaithful, you weren't unfaithful and you weren't in the mindset that there was anything wrong with the relationship a lot of
Yeah,
times.
because up until then, you had this image of them that they were a good partner, right? They were your family, and when you decide on divorce, I think it must be so hard because you're deciding to break up that family.
That's rough. Comments do say before you do anything, please make sure you have a plan. Make sure you're safe, surrounding yourself with supportive people. Hugs.
Mhm.
Oh, people also said include a STD test and a plan. You're not
Oh,
overreacting.
yeah. Once you find out
Yeah.
that he's been around,
With multiple partners.
it's best to get tested.
Hmm. I'm glad you're putting yourself first and not just forgiving him. Also, see if you can sue him for the money he spent on these women if you're the one paying the bills. You know
Yeah.
what? I forgot to
Financial.
comment on the financial infidelity, but
Yeah.
he was cheating on her in all the ways possible, betraying her trust, cheating on her emotionally,
Spending money
physically,
on them.
spending money.
Yeah.
The audacity to be in debt. Wait, no, is he in debt? I forgot. Are they in debt? Oh, well, they have to pay bills. So, yes. Okay. They're in debt.
Yeah.
To use OP's money, your wife's hard earned money when you lost her job, she's supporting you, and then spending it on your side chicks.
Just so blatantly, and to not have 1 but 2, that's double the money that you're spending on them.
I think he has more than two. I think these are the two that OP knows about, but
I
I wouldn't be
wouldn't be
surprised.
surprised, yeah. Oh my
He
goodness.
probably has one for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All the times when
No.
OP's at work, I bet he's just meeting up with them during normal
Ho My
hours.
question for cheaters is how do they balance all these partners?
That's a lot of
Because
work, huh?
yeah, I think it's a lot of, like, social battery, and you have to prevent them from knowing about each other. It's a lot of work.
And
Is
h
it worth it? It's usually never worth it.
and how do you hide the evidence? Do you even try to hide it that much? Because I imagine, okay, if you're with all these women, they're texting you probably, they're calling you maybe.
Mhm.
Like, do you just put your phone on do not disturb when you're with one woman versus the other? How are you juggling all that?
Yeah, I think it's a lot to juggle. I feel like the reward is never worth it. There is no reward. You're basically uprooting your whole life.
To get what? Momentary
Like 3 minutes
satisfaction?
of, satisfaction.
And then you're sneaking around? I feel like cheating is a stressful thing. Why would
It's
anyone wanna do that?
yeah.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of? Because of someone getting exposed for cheating online?
Mhm.
One of the ex-Try guys.
Why?
You don't know?
No. I'm sorry, I'm kind of out of it with
So,
these news.
okay, so I don't super follow Try Guys, but they're I think 3 wait, is it 3? No, 4 guys? 4 guys who came from BuzzFeed,
Uh-huh.
and they did the Try Guys basically doing different activities and filming it for BuzzFeed videos. Then they became their own company, I think, separately on
Mhm.
their channel. They're 4 guys, but it's called the
Okay.
Try Guys
Oh,
because
okay.
they try different things, I guess.
I thought it was try like TRI.
Oh, no, try like TRY.
Oh, okay.
And one of them, I don't remember when, but one of them got caught because he was always known as the my wife, I love my wife" guy
Right.
on their videos.
Oh, no.
And he's the one that got busted for publicly going on dates with someone else, with his affair partner.
Okay.
And it became this whole thing on the
It just
internet.
sounds so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, this is it's never worth it.
No.
It's very greedy and selfish. If you want to pursue someone else,
Just go,
just
please.
yeah, just leave your partner cleanly, explain it to them, and then move on.
Although I can see why he didn't leave his wife. He had a
Why?
maid. He didn't have to work. He wasn't working. He was out here going on all these lavish dates with his wife's money. So while his wife was slaving away trying to make this money for
She's
them,
better off without him.
he was out here footing the bills for mistresses. She's
Just
better
leave
off.
him.
Yeah, I would say OP is definitely not the a-hole. I think it's pretty obvious. I don't think she was going too far to post on social media.
Put
Air
him
that
on
dirty laundry.
blast.
Put him on blast.
Cheaters do not deserve any type of kindness from the partner that they cheated on. You cannot blame her. And since he came from a background of being cheated on,
I think
how
that makes
can
it even
he
worse.
blame her? Because, okay, so what, your life was ruined because what you did was put on blast?
But
Well,
you did it. You made the
you
choices to
did
do
it.
it.
Yeah. It's the consequences of your own actions.
I think it used to be that when people cheat or people get cheated on, they would keep it quiet. But I'm kind of glad that there's a trend more of people exposing the cheaters.
Oh, yeah.
Because for potentially for all we know, maybe one of the women he was one of the two women, we know that one of them was the friend, but potentially the other woman might not have known that he was married.
That's true. What if
Potentially.
they each think they're the only one
Yeah. Well, besides the friend.
besides the
Yeah,
friend?
but they could
But
do
there's a
that.
chance, yeah. If it's
Mhm.
several women, not just two, then they might be thinking, what, he could be having families with them and just they don't know about each other.
Ooh. You can accuse cheaters of being manipulative, of being emotional heartbreakers, all of that, but you cannot accuse them of being lazy.
Oh,
He's managing a schedule.
that's
He's
true. They're
balancing
in
3 women here.
rotation.
Multitasker here
Mm.
at work. Reddit agrees. OP is definitely not the a-hole for putting him on blast.
Give updates too. Put update on your social media just to continuously on him so he doesn't forget it.
Oh, and also dump the friend. I agree with the comments. Dump that friend.
That is not even a friend. What do you think is worse, getting betrayed by your spouse or your friend? And like your relationship with your friend is based on just you like each other's company, you get
Mhm.
along, you trust each other. Hi, Mango.
Hey, Mingle.
You're a good friend. And when you betray that friendship, there's nothing to stand on. Like, there's not a divorce paper you can file to end it.
Yeah.
It's just up in the air.
Well, I said the friend would be worse, but I said it because it's worse in different contexts. Like, it would be oh, sorry guys if you're seeing her butt on the podcast. My cat's here, so you might see her flashing her butt once in a while if you guys are watching us on video. With a friend, you would never see it coming. You would never expect that from friend. Like, you don't even think about that as a possibility.
I would never imagine a friend sleeping with my husband. I think that is a very it's probably a worse betrayal, yeah. Because if
The
it was a
sting would be
stranger,
different, yeah.
it's different when it's a stranger, but this is your friend.
Yeah, someone you know, someone who has your back or should have your back
So
doing that,
to be betrayed by the friend and husband at the same time, that is
that's a
so
double blow.
devastating. Moving forward, it'll be hard to form a new friendship without having that in the back of
Oh
your
my
mind.
gosh. You're gonna be carrying that and thinking, shoot, that's what happened to someone. Well, that's what happened with my last friend.
Mhm.
Do you think cheaters deserve a second chance? And if husband came back crawling to OP saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry, babe. You know, I only love you. You're the only real one for me. Do you think OP should take him back or forgive him?
Personally, no. I want to be the type of person to say yes, that everybody deserves a second chance. But maybe that's reaching too much. And I think instinctively, I don't think they deserve a second chance. I want to say, oh, maybe they can turn over a new leaf. But
No,
I,
they're turning over leaves, all right. But it's not that type of leaf.
but like in my mind, I just don't think I could ever forgive it.
I don't think so. I I don't think I could.
And I would put them on blast for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'd be so petty. I would be so petty. It wouldn't even be funny.
Yeah.
I I couldn't get past it because when I see them, all I could would be able to see then is betrayal. All the past happy memories would be like kind of messed up by the fact that kind of stained by what
Mhm.
they did.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad she's filing for divorce. So, but I hope she also divorces that friend too.
Mhm.
Well, our next story is another relationship dramatic story, but we're going back to weddings.
Ooh, okay, finally.
But do I hear happy wedding bells or tragic wedding bells?
Oh.
That will be a question.
I just like wedding stories because I like hearing about how everyone goes about their
Mhm.
weddings, but I'm a little bit nervous now.
I love wedding stories. So I'm glad you guys seem to like it too. We got a lot of requests, I would say comments asking for them. The story is from the subreddit AITAH. Am I the a hole for ruining my sister's wedding with an inappropriate speech? Now, OP does put inappropriate in quotation marks here.
Hmm.
I, 28-year-old female, recently attended my sister's 30-year-old female's wedding, which was a beautiful and lavish event. Leading up to the wedding, my sister had been very stressed about the details and wanted everything to be perfect. I was honored when she asked me to be her maid of honor, and I took my responsibilities seriously, including writing a heartfelt speech. The wedding day was going smoothly, and everyone seemed to be having a great time. When it was my turn to give the speech, I wanted to share some lighthearted and funny anecdotes about her childhood, as well as express my love and happiness for her and her new husband. One of the stories I shared was about a family vacation where my sister accidentally fell into a pool while trying to impress a boy she had a crush on. It was a funny and innocent story that always made our family laugh. I also made a joke about how she used to be obsessed with boy bands and had posters all over her room, which I thought would be a cute and nostalgic memory. However, my sister did not take it well, and as I was speaking, I could see her face turning red, and by the end of the speech, she looked furious. She pulled me aside afterwards and yelled at me for, quote, ruining her wedding and embarrassing her in front of everyone. She said my speech was inappropriate and made her look foolish. I felt terrible and tried to apologize, but she was too upset to listen. Later, I heard from some relatives that they thought my speech was funny and lighthearted, but my sister has barely spoken to me since the wedding. My parents are on her side and think I should have kept my speech more formal and serious. So, am I the a hole for giving an quote inappropriate speech at my sister's wedding?
Oh, that's kind of hard for me. So the parents are saying that OP should have written a more formal speech for the wedding. But in my experience, I think the informal speeches are the most memorable speeches.
Yeah.
I think they touch the heart more.
But do you think she needed to include all those embarrassing memories of the bride, though?
Honestly, I don't think that OP should have included all of them. Maybe one little antic, because she's essentially saying that the bride made a fool of herself trying to impress other boys.
Yeah.
And while it might be funny for a Thanksgiving family get together or
Like a
Chris,
smaller private event.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think this is a day where you want to make the bride feel really good about herself.
Yeah. It's supposed to be the moment where she glows the most, where she's seen in her best light, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I have a pretty harsh judgment on this one. I thought sister was absolutely the a-hole. OP.
The one who wrote the
Yeah.
speech.
Because okay, so you know the bride is stressed. Was stressed leading up to this. She
Yeah.
wants to look good. And you're telling me of all the memories you have with your sister. You couldn't instead focus on something that was more either her achievements or something awesome she did,
Mhm.
or I think a more harmless, nice joke that she was in on.
You wanna make it a speech that no one would be embarrassed of.
Yeah, why did you have to go the embarrassment route?
Yeah, I think OP should have ran the speech by someone if she didn't already.
I it doesn't say OP doesn't say and there's no update. I feel like here OP was very tone deaf.
Because for our best man and maid of honor,
Mhm.
they were open to running the speeches by us,
Oh, that's nice.
but we kind of just trusted them. And I think both of them came out great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there at the wedding, guys. So before I comment, so people aren't like, wait, why is she saying that? I was there at the wedding. I like their speeches. Now,
Yeah.
here's my question to you. If one of the speeches had included an embarrassing memory, would you be mad?
Probably, yeah. I wanna say I would be the bigger person, but I think I would be upset. Because, there's a lot of speeches at weddings where it's usually the groom, and if the groom has a brother,
Yeah.
the brother will take digs at the groom.
Yeah.
I attended a speech where for 90% of the best man's speech,
Mhm.
it was just going at the groom.
Ooh. Like,
Take
but was the groom on the joke? Was he okay
No.
with it? Oh, no,
It didn't
that's
seem like it. It was lines like, "Oh, my brother is so nerdy or whatever. I don't know why the bride chose him." Things
that's
like that.
so
On their wedding day.
that's not even, "Oh, ha, 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 that's a harmless joke." No, you're basically insulting him.
Like, I thought he was gonna be a failure, but I guess he did okay. Things like that, I know they're meant to be funny, but you really can just keep that to Thanksgiving or Christmas
Or not
gatherings.
say it. Honestly, don't say it. If the
It's
person themselves they are not comfortable with the joke,
not on the
why say
wedding.
it?
Not like, maybe
Definitely
it's
not on
an
the wedding.
internal joke or something that I don't understand the humor of. On the day of the wedding, the
No.
speeches should be highlighting the bride and groom in a positive way.
Do you see there's a lot of posts on viral that go viral on TikTok. I don't know if you've seen those where it's always a speech, either maid of honor, a bridesmaid, or groomsmaid. Wait,
Groomsmen. Best man?
best man says a speech, or even sometimes the groom himself
Mhm.
saying speeches that are so completely, I'll say, out of pocket. It's
Yeah.
I want to say it's a list of insults disguised as a
Joke.
lighthearted joke.
I really don't like it
I hate those.
because jokes are supposed to be funny for everyone. And if you're taking a dig at someone with your joke, it's not funny.
Yeah, like the line that you said as an example, "Oh, I thought you were a failure, but you turned out all right." What's the joke? Honestly,
And
what's the
why did you
joke?
have to bring that up on the wedding?
What's so funny about it?
Yeah.
Isn't it supposed to make someone laugh? Who did it? Who enjoyed it?
I think it was just awkward laughs.
Ugh.
And
I would never do that to my own
it's
sister.
hard because the speeches go on and for a couple of minutes of just taking jabs.
That makes it awkward. It brings the wedding to an awkward mood for everyone else too,
Yeah.
because you don't want to be laughing like ha ha ha, because it's at the expense of the bride and groom. But then you also
Because it
don't want to
makes
go
you
dead
question,
quiet.
as a guest, I was sitting there, I'm like, "Do you even like him? You're the best man, but do you even like the groom?"
Of course, I've also seen, like, versions where, okay, the groom's in on it and he'll say a few things back,
Yeah,
or I see a report, like, that's fine,
that's fine.
but you know the ones where the couple are just mortified, like, you see it
Mhm.
on their face, they're horrified, they hate this moment.
Yeah. Well, I wanna ask the audience, so you guys, have you ever been in a position where you wrote a speech as a best man or maid of honor for a couple? And if you did, how did you approach it? Did you go the funny route, taking jokes? Were there stories that could be embarrassing that were actually okay in the speech? Like, how did you guys go about it? Because I feel like it's so tricky. You're sharing personal information to everybody they know. So how did you decide what to share, what not to share?
I'm curious what people will say. I try to think about it from OP's perspective. Okay, say it's my sister's wedding.
Hmm.
I'm asked to say a speech. I would only want to give her the most joyous of blessings, the happiest things. I'll mention some lovely memories. I would never, ever touch a joke or embarrassing moment with a 5 meter stick in the
Yeah.
speech. Like, I wouldn't even go there. Why test it? Why brave it?
I think in OP's case, if that was the style of the family's
Uh huh.
humor, maybe one is okay. But it
Yes, if
sounded
it's
like
their
she
style.
just
Yeah.
had joke after joke.
Yep. And it paints the bride out to be on her wedding day. It's kind of awkward because it paints her out to be this, oh, she's this boy crazy person who did
Yeah.
all these embarrassing things to get boys' attentions in front of the groom
Mhm.
on their wedding day.
It's like they're making her out to be a pick me on her wedding day.
Yeah, I don't like it. Let's see what comments say. First comment, in response to the phrase, as I was speaking, I could see her face turning red, and by the end of the speech, she looked furious.
You should have just improv the speech once you saw that.
Sandra, you may have written this comment
Oh, really?
because comment says, I know not everyone's a great public speaker, but if you saw she clearly was upset by your speech, why not attempt to pivot or end it early? It
Mhm.
may have been a little awkward for you, but it was her wedding and would have saved her the bad feelings. I think this alone makes it you're the a hole. But also agree with what many of the other commenters are saying. You should have ran it by her. If every story was a teasing or embarrassing one, then it wasn't as lighthearted as you thought. And there's a possibility that these are, quote, cute, funny stories to you and your family. But maybe to your sister, they are moments of her life she'd rather leave in the past.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's what I was wondering in the beginning. Did OP ever run the speech by somebody?
Doesn't look like it. I don't think the bride would ever okay this if she knew that there were just layers upon layers of memories.
Mm.
Another comment. I get the feeling that your family laughed at those stories, but your sister didn't. Just because you all thought it was just so cute and funny doesn't mean your sister hasn't been humiliated by every single retelling of it. My relatives are the same way, and I don't talk to them anymore. You're the a hole. See, this is the thing I don't get. When people get called out on inappropriate jokes, have you met people like that where they get called out on bad jokes and they say, oh, well, so and so thought it was funny. Yeah, but the person you made the joke about doesn't find it funny. So who cares who
I
else thought it
think
was funny?
yeah, I have encountered that. I think you just have to be very serious about you not liking the joke. For people who make those kind of jokes, I think they'll do it over and over again and they'll
Yeah.
stand by it.
If they always get feedback that someone's laughing, they're going to be encouraged to keep on saying it and retelling it.
If you're asked to make a speech, have some tact and have
Yeah.
someone else review it, please.
And if you're curious about whether or not to include a funny memory or embarrassing joke, don't. Just don't. Let me save you the
If you
trouble.
have to
Don't.
ask, don't say it.
Yeah. Well, if you have nothing nice to say, don't. Just, no. Just,
Mhm.
zip it. Well, commenters also agree with us that OP is an a hole.
OP is an a-hole. We haven't had one of those in a while.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I do feel like it was getting a little too nice around here.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys enjoyed some of these wedding stories and relationship stories. They got a little bit serious, then a little bit lighthearted, then a little bit crazy, and with many twists and turns. So we certainly hope that you enjoyed listening with us today. And if you did, don't forget to let us know in the comments below if you want to hear more wedding stories or what other types of stories you'd like to hear.
And don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that like button to tell us that you liked the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget, if you're listening on Spotify, rate us 5 stars. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.